What's up? So the weather's starting to break here in Ohio, and a guy has been on the hunt for a new daily. And I wanted something reliable and fun to look at and drive. So I figured a 47-year-old Ford pickup that hasn't moved in over a decade was probably the right call. But before we dig into this old Ford, there's a couple things I want to talk about. First off, if you're new to the page, thanks for showing up. If you're not new to the page and you've been following me, you probably noticed I haven't been posting very much lately at all. And, a lot of stuff has happened in the last couple of months. Some of it beyond my control, some of it totally within my control. But I've made some changes, and I feel like they're going to be good. So a lot of people don't know me personally, but I have been in the collision and restoration industry for the last 20 years. I'm 37 right now. Do the math. I started professionally doing this stuff young. And it started to wear on me to the point where I hated coming home and working on projects. So as of the beginning of 2026, I quit working on cars professionally and changed careers completely. And it was a scary jump, and I didn't know what I was doing, but it has been one of the best decisions I've ever made because the clarity in my brain is immense, and it's really got me excited for this summer, and really been able to kind of organize some projects that I want to get done. So one thing I want to focus on this summer is kind of getting back to my roots. I really miss doing the barn find style videos and the revival style videos. And, I just haven't had the urge to want to go pluck something out of a field or out of a barn in a few years. And, I don't really like that because that's more my style, doing high-end restoration where you have thousands, and I'm not joking, thousands of hours invested into something and, months and months of your time. It's really only fulfilling when you don't care about it, when you're over it and you've invested the time and then it's done. And then the best part is when it leaves. You start here, your expectations are up here, and any little thing can knock you down to the point where you almost dislike the job anymore and dislike the car until it's gone and you see the final product, and then you're very fulfilled, whatever. Whereas when you start with something that has been sitting for over a decade or whatever, and your expectations are low, and you get to here, you just feel on top of the world. So, and that's more my style anyway. I'm way more into rat rods and patina and kind of leave stuff alone. Just kind of fix it. Don't really build it. Just fix it. And then you can enjoy it. And it's a lot cheaper. And for me, it's a lot more fulfilling to take something that was off the road, put it back on the road, and then either keep it or let somebody else enjoy it. So that's going to be one of my big focuses this year, is to kind of get back to my roots. And I think that's going to start with this little red Ford. So let's tear into this thing because it's got a pretty cool story. So here she is in all her glory. This is a 1979 F250 with a pretty cool option that I don't think I've ever seen one in person. This is a 8-foot step side bed. I've seen 8-foot steppers on Chevys. I don't think I've ever seen one on a Ford, so it's super cool, and that's what caught my eye. And the truck is rough. It's got some holes and it's got some rust in all the normal places that an old Ford has rust. Most of the front sheet metal is actually in exceptional condition. The hood is in great shape. The inner fenders are in great shape. The aprons are in great shape. The core support is just immaculate in this thing. It's unbelievable how clean the core support is because these are always rotten, and the inners, the aprons and stuff are always rotten, and this is super nice. The fenders are in pretty decent shape. There's no rust holes. These are normally super rusted out here at the bottom. They are a little bit floppy, which may just be the brace down there. I haven't gotten underneath it to look, but All the sheet metal from here forward is actually pretty nice. The doors, they're pretty rough. Inners and outers are pretty well toast on the bottom. The rockers are rough. Cab corners are pretty tired. The bed's pretty stressed out. Kind of bums me out because the bed is really what drew me to the truck. It's arguably beyond saving, but it does have a cool look to it. It's got a bunch of dents. Obviously, somebody tried pulling this out at some point. They got about 10% of the dent out, but good enough, I guess, for what it is. Tailgate's in fairly decent shape. Down here, this boxed in section is a little bit, a little crusty on both sides, but overall, the single panel is in really good shape. No massive dents. The bed, all the wood is pretty toast. It's a shame. The interior is kind of more the same. Things are in pretty decent shape overall, but where they're bad, they're pretty bad. Pull the carpet up, and you can see somebody's already laid some sheet metal in there. We're gonna have to address that. Windshield's broken, but everything in here is actually pretty sanitary. The seat is covered in tape, but there's really only like one rip. Everything else is actually, oh, there's another little one right there. But there's a lot of tape on the seat for not a lot of rips. My square body is like from here over is duct tape because there was no cushion left. But everything inside is there. The top of the windshield is super nice. These are always rotten out, but luckily this truck didn't have cab lights, so it really didn't rot out. Obviously, big blown out section of the windshield here. We will have to put a new windshield in it. So the story on this truck is, it's whatever. It's an old farmer's truck, and this is what he used to haul firewood. And yeah, that's why you could basically tell that it was a wood hauling truck. Every panel on the back here has dents from throwing logs in it. I can't believe the back window's not blown out, but it used to have some wooden sides that came up, is what the guy that I got it off of told me. And one day, this truck was running and driving in, well, here, I'll show you. 2011. 2011 doesn't sound like it was a long time ago, but it was 15 years. Where does the time go? That's scary to even think about. But anyway, the old boy just got tired of driving it around and parked it in his yard, and that's where it sat. Now here's where the story gets really, really wild, is his neighbor is the guy I bought it off of. He pulled it out of the tree row with his backhoe over to his property, right across the property line, threw a battery in it, disconnected the fuel line, poured some gas down the carb, and it started. After 15 years of sitting, started right up, like immediately. Built oil pressure and sounded great. So that makes it less exciting for me because I don't have to get it running. But this thing is crazy. And I'll show you why I think it started almost immediately. This big old truck is powered by a 300 Ford straight six. And anybody who knows that that's probably arguably one of the best motors ever built, ever, hands down. For reliability and longevity, really. I think the truck's got about 150,000 miles on it. It's obviously rolled the odometer over. I think it shows 49,000. But let me hook the battery up, twirl on the key, and show you how easily this thing starts. That is insane. I've probably run this truck for a grand total of 5 minutes since I've got it. I obviously pulled it in, so it wasn't a cold start, but it always starts like that. It's just crazy. It's just, I'm still mind blown every time I turn the key, and it just fires right up. Excuse me. Now, just because it starts and runs so well doesn't mean that we don't have a lot of stuff to do on this truck. But the nice thing is, for some reason, this truck seems so well preserved that everything is about 50% there already. When you hit the brake pedal, it stops. Now, it's all the way on the floor when it stops, but that tells me that the fluid's probably all just somehow worked itself out. But there's something in there that's still working. So I'm going to top off the brakes and see if we have improved brakes or not. The clutch has been, it's way up high. So hopefully that's just an adjustment. The lights even turn on this thing. The blinkers don't work and I have no tail lights. So we will have to address that. But if this thing is mechanically as sound as it seems like it is, I think we have a really, really, really good contender for something that we can put, time into other things. Definitely the floor patching and cleaning up the body and cleaning up the interior. Maybe do, some other little hot rod stuff to it. Unfortunately, all of the dog dishes look like that other than one. But not having to spend so much time on getting it running means we can put a little more time into other stuff. Oh, and the radiator has a huge leak in it. So we're going to need a radiator. Or maybe we can get that one fixed. It looks like the solder around the tank may have just broke loose. So let's just start digging into the little bits of mechanicals that I think we need to address now before we start trying to clean this thing up, because I'd like to maybe tootle this thing up and down the road a little bit and see if these old bias plies are going to hang on or not. I'm very impressed by how all of this is going with this truck, because I did not give a lot of money for this thing, and I already am feeling super, super good about it. Well, that makes sense why we have some brakes. There is fluid in the front, and the front brakes are the ones that are working. There's nothing in the rear. That's probably a leaky wheel cylinder if I had to guess, but maybe we can improve on what we have. That's actually, that fluid doesn't look horrible. Oh, that was empty. It'll be all right. Let's top her off and go pump on the pedal a little bit, see what happens. It's taking fluid. You can't see it, but there's a couple of bubbles. Oh, I hear a hiss in the back. Yup, there's a broken brake line in the back. I heard the hiss. Let's go find it. Ugh, there's the fluid. Oh, I can't find the brake line, but it's right there. I heard it hit the exhaust or the drive shaft, one of the two. There's the fluid. That explains why we had no rear brakes. An old broken brake line is a pretty easy fix. So I'm gonna get this thing up in the air. That way we can see. I haven't even been under this thing yet, so I don't know what we're gonna find, but maybe we can just scab in a brake line real quick. And if I have some, I think I have some brake line, but maybe we can just scab in a brake line real quick and fix the brakes completely right now. It's a little tight under here. I can't seem to get this truck very high on the lift, but hey, anything's better than nothing. For as pleased as I was with everything up top for the most part, underneath, I'm even more impressed. Everything seems to have a nice layer of grease and grime on it, which may have been what's preserving it. Everything for sitting, especially in grass for so long, is in pretty good condition. I found our leak. It's right here. Boom, right where I put my lift pad. So I think I have enough brake line over there on the floor to get from that rubber hose all the way up to the junction block. I should. So I'm gonna get that line replaced real quick. Oh, look at that. Oh, hold on, let me get over there. I found a union. That's not ever gonna hold up on that side, but maybe I can just replace this section from here back. So I'm gonna get that made up real quick. I know I am gonna have a leak back here still. Leaky wheel seal, or cylinder. So, well, maybe it's an axle seal. You never know. It looks pretty evident of a bad wheel cylinder though. And maybe I'll chisel off a bunch of this grime that's kind of built up on everything under here and see what more we're working with. This is a Dana 60, I do believe, which is a good rear end. And I can't confirm yet. These came with a couple transmission options. It's either an NP 435 or a Borg Warner T18. Can't really tell. I kind of got to see the top to see if it's aluminum or cast. I think that this is the new process 435 though. Maybe I can chisel some grease off and find a number on it. So I'm gonna get to work and then we're gonna work on a fuel system. All right, we've got our new brake line in all the way to the back. That was pretty painless. I don't have a ton of faith in this front one. Something tells me that it's probably gonna pop as soon as we stomp on the pedal one time. So I left my brake line out, just in anticipation of needing to replace that one. I did spend about 2 hours chiseling grease off of everything under here. And actually, it cleaned up surprisingly well. I do believe that we're working with the MP435 transmission after looking at it. I found some numbers. I haven't cleaned it off and checked it yet, but I think it's a 435, which is a great transmission. I mean, either way, that or the T18, I'm not upset about either one. So now we need to check to make sure that we have, oh, that is crispy, a good clear fuel line to the back. So I'm going to take a blowgun. Ooh, that thing is hard as a rock. Oh boy. So I'm going to take a blowgun and try to see if I can hear air going back into the tank when I blow air in up front. So I'm going to set you back here. And you tell me if you hear anything back here. Here we go. What'd you hear? Because I think I heard air coming all the way back here. Oh, you'll also notice there's some shiny bits here. So while I was chiseling off grease and running brake lines, I kind of let the ADD kick in, and I took a hammer and walloped all these dents out from the inside. You'll notice there's no huge caved in spots. And I sprayed a little red paint on there just because. I'm trying not to fix this too much, but down the road, we are going to be doing something to the body on this a little bit. And you know, it blew all the paint off when I hit it with a hammer. So I just put some red back on so that when we go to clean this up, there's still some red here. This was all just the black e-coat that's underneath was all exposed. So yeah, the fenders came out pretty nice. Oh, sorry, I'm hitting you on everything. This side, look at this, was one where somebody cleared out a ditch or a guardrail. That came out pretty good. There was a huge dent here. I just kind of punched that one and it came out. There were a bunch up here. They're not perfect, but at least they're not big dents anymore. So I think I need to get a fuel line in place, or a fuel filter in line, and then I'm gonna throw some fuel in the tank, and maybe we can draw fuel from the back instead of this little pony tank up here. Well, more leaks. I tried to backfill the fuel line to try to give that little pump, you know, the best chance of drawing fuel from the tank, and the hard line started to leak. Not one of the rubber lines like I thought they were, right behind the steering box. I can't say I'm surprised, because I'm not. So I don't have any 3/8 fuel line in stock here, and I also don't have a fuel filter. So it looks like we are going to be rolling on the pony tank until I can get some fuel line, but that doesn't mean we're done, because I still have to check the brakes again to see if that other brake line is going to give up. So I'm going to get this thing pulled forward and mash on the pedal a whole bunch and see if I can blow some more brake lines. Here goes something. It's taking fluid. It's taking more fluid. Oh, I hear the drums in the back working. Yeah. I hear the drums. And the pedal's getting firm. Now there's still going to be a bunch of air in the system, but my pedal's not on the floor anymore. Good enough for me. Let's see what it feels like with a little vacuum on it. Yeah, the pedal feels great, so I'm going to try putting it in gear now that I've adjusted the clutch, so let's hope I don't drive through the garage door. Man, what an honest old truck. I am so thrilled with how this thing runs. It's incredible. And, you know, I expected to have some brake problems, but only one brake line? Really? That's insane. Now, the rest of the brakes do need some attention, but honestly, I think this thing needs a good rip down the road to kind of knock the scale off of everything and clear out that exhaust and that nasty old catalytic converter that's under there that'll probably, you know, be gone before too long. But I am going to need to address wheel cylinders. The brake hoses are all pretty cracked up, so just in good faith, I'm going to grab a set of those offline. And I do need to get some fuel line so I can run fuel line back to the tank and get a filter in line. But yeah, I'm incredibly impressed by how this thing is going so far. So that's it for today. I just kind of wanted to introduce this truck today and show off how good of a runner it really is. Yeah, we poked around with a couple of the mechanical things and got some stuff sorted. I got to order some parts, and yeah, maybe the next video we'll clean up the interior, pick around at a couple more of the mechanicals that need looked at. Definitely are going to need to address lights in the future, because as you know, we have headlights but no taillights. You know, you can't drive with no taillights. Got to get the radiator looked at, see what my options are there, and yeah, I can't wait to clean up the body on this thing a little bit. This is going to be a fun little project, but drivability is most important first, so that's going to be the first things we work on. So thanks for watching. See you next time.